So I'm sure that they will get it all together as it all works throughout.
Now, this yellow boat in front of you that Daniel Reid and Ben Sol are taking around the course is the Naki boys. Their fastest time so far, 100.422, 100.422. And I'm picking we're going to go sub 60 here. Let's have a look at them. They certainly are on the improve, and they know that this is their last chance to make the top 12. And Cavey, this looks like a nicer run for these guys.
Well, did
they cut that in half?
Absolutely. It's cutting the inside of that corner beautifully. Nearly put a few marks on the boat there from the tyres on the inside of Suzuki Island. Of course, Suzuki synonymous with jet sprinting over the last number of years here in New Zealand and doing a fantastic job. But part of the Naki boys team out here, the Farmlands, Daniel Reid, got a bit untidy there, but posted a reasonable time of 59.374.
We got our sub 60 that we were hoping for them, Cavey. They'll be more than happy with that. Like we were saying, this is great to see a new team cracking out here and doing some, just improving all day long. They've taken 5 seconds off their slowest time. Let's take a look at our next team in. Should be Greg Reid and Dawn Herb in their first season. Adrenaline is the boat, and they have that L98 6-litre Chevy motor.
Absolutely. Greg Reid, we saw in qualifying 1, parked it up on the dirt near the Mouthfresh sign. Of course, Mouthfresh, best tasting toothpaste in the world, I can guarantee you that. So when you're down at the supermarket next time, make sure you get a mouthful of Mouthfresh. Now, this Adrenaline boat, really quite interesting. Greg Reardon is a mechanic, and it's quite interesting. The blowing a tranny is a whole different thing for a mechanic, and he's doing a fantastic job out there. Of course, trannies are not involved in jet sprinting, straight from the motor into the drive shaft, turning the blades into the jet unit, sucking that water up and punching it out at 1,000,000 miles an hour out of the jet unit. Now, you mentioned Wiggy a little bit earlier, 33,000 litres. I want to know, who's the bloke at the back of the boat with a 1 litre container going 1, 2, 3, 4?
Every one of these boats too, ladies and gentlemen, putting out about 160 PSI through that 8¼ inch hole on this unit. So that's a hell of a lot of boost, and we've just come in with a time there for that crew. And that is we're just waiting for it actually. Just bear with us as the timekeepers stick their watches together. 58.853, 58.853. That's a big improvement for them as well. They've got their sub 60 seconds, so well done.
Murray Chittick and Paul Newman in Sonic Boom coming out on the track at the moment. And again, some first timers. These guys actually picking up the pace rapidly throughout the day, really coming to grips with the sport, with the boat, with the package. Just taking it easy going through that part of the track because they realise that they've had a navigational error. They have gone the wrong way. They will be back on track in a second, I'm quite sure, if they can really find it again.
It's blooming hard, isn't it, Katie? Once you've gone off track.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, there is a little bit of split ends in that decision, but they're back on track now. The girls have dropped their hands and said that they've worked it out. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. But once you're in that position that you're not sure where you should be or what you should be doing, it's really hard. You've got to back your navigator. Will find you the way home. And now we come down here for the tight right-hander, doing a good job.
Oh,
kick the tail, eh? The tail of that.
He's trying to punch that bit of dirt all the way back to Australia.
Yeah, no kidding.
Open up that exit chute of the tight right-hander, no doubt about that for Murray Chittick. A little bit of hesitation coming through there, but that's no worries at all.
Okay, their quickest time, of course, has been that 1:07, and I think they're going to be outside that again now with the navigational problems that they've had. So let's take a little look at them. There we go, 1:13.304, 1:13.304. They'll be lucky to make it back to the top 12.
Absolutely, and if you go wrong way, ladies and gentlemen, I'll just give you a quick rotation numbers. It's 6, 3, 4, 7, 9, 10, 11, 9, 7, 4, 2, 1. If you get it messed up, do you actually go back to the numbers, do you think they're wiggy, or do you just try and work out your way around the track and figure it out from there?
The guts of it is they've got to go back to, as you've been saying all day, back to the position that they went off in the right direction. They've got to re-enter the corner that they went off wrong on the same direction that they're supposed to have come from. They can't take any shortcuts and do any cheating. But it's good to see these Group Bs. This is, once again, a level entry part of the occasion here. You can get into these boats for $30,000 to $50,000, $60,000 tops and get yourself into New Zealand jet sprinting action. And it's good to see these new teams out and about. We've got 4 new teams here today that have never been to a racetrack before. So they got a big warm welcome from the rest of the drivers today. Our next boat in should be Get Insider.
We got something in the
Oh,
water
no.
again over by Suzuki Island
we
there.
have two tyres.
Yeah, there was tyres in the water, and so the rescue crew doing a fantastic job. Haven't been bothered too much today, obviously, with Richard Murray up on the Biolytix big sweeper up there, parked it up there. That bothered the rescue crew. Greg Reardon earlier in the day, qualifying round number 1, second boat out, he parked it up, hasn't bothered the safety guys, but there's been more time getting tyres in and out of the track so far today. But Clayton Tisdall and Mandy Tisdall out on the water at the moment. Get inside it too.
Yeah, 500 horsepower in the back of this boat and jet speed hull with a two-stage 8.5-inch unit this time. Big unit for the Group Bs, but it's flying flat, flying clean and flying fast around these corners.
He was a little bit late coming out of there, but sided it pretty well. Luckily, there's a pretty wide exit to the Biolytix speed bowl when you're coming around the direction that he's coming.
Yeah, definitely, and nice and clean through the middle here. Take the hard right-hander, put it
Very
flat.
smooth.
Very smooth. Puts it back through the middle of the course as quick as he can. And looking for a pretty handy time for this team. Their fastest time so far, 54.81, 54.81. Straight round through the middle of the course, whipping and tipping and turning. Around the outside of this island right here in front of us and home back through the middle of the course. When they go through the timer line there, it'll clack up in front of us. And that's nice, 54.794. 54.794, that'll be their fastest time for qualification. And of course, KB, the faster you qualify, the later in the running order you get to go, and you get the benefit of seeing what everyone else does in front of you.
And that is always a really good position to be in, as Pip and Poppy are about to find out in their run. As you said, the later you are in that qualifying run, you can work out the people who are trying to stooge you. Take it easy. And that's exactly what they do when they come into the final. The more experienced guys, instead of going flat out in the top 12, they will just tickle it along, just make enough pace to be able to get to the next stage. And as soon as you're into the next stage, no worries, they'll just keep putting the pressure on. And as they just wind up the thumb screws on their competitors, that is when they're waiting for competitors to make mistakes. In the last qualifying round, you will also find that people will actually just put one out on there and just rattle their opponents. So there's a little bit of mind games that go onto the pits, even though you are on a time trial race course.
Yeah, definitely, and some of the guys like Blake Bryan just say bugger it and stick out the best runs early on in the day and say, well, I've got more to go, so you guys better keep trying to push me along, and there's a few mistakes get made too. These ladies here have done great in this run. 54.306, 54.306 is their quickest time, and let's see how they go, the team from Hawke's Bay and the South Island. So let's take a look at them. They've got a 55.105, so just outside their quickest time so far, 55.105.
Well, Sonic Boom coming back up to the starter again. Got a rerun because there was a tyre on the track out there for the teams from Sonic Boom. So that'll make sense why they slowed it down coming through the flip-flops from the far side of the track towards the commentary. And the race directors and all the officialdom deciding that these guys needing an additional run, and fair play to